ancient Romans and the Persians that exist the same time and place as ancient Egypt. So, what do you first think about when we talk about ancient Egypt? The pyramids, the Sphinx, the 2,000 gods, pharaohs, mummies, or all of the above? Let's get started. This is what we will talk about today. First is timeline location, then ancient Egypt culture, and lastly was artifacts left from ancient Egyptian. But let's explore what is ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt is a civilization that exists a long time ago as a particular rise and fall, and they became a model for future study. The first part, timeline and location. Let's see where is ancient Egypt on a map. You see, this is the map of the place around Africa and the Middle East. And the yellow part is the part where ancient Egypt ruled. So it is in Northeast Africa and the Middle East. See, most of it is belong to ancient Egypt today, but it's a bit smaller, and some parts were not, like this one. And when you look at the map, you will see a beautiful blue line. It is the Nile River. The Nile River flows through ancient Egypt and other countries in Africa too. And most of the people live around the Nile River. It is a very important part for them because Nile provides fish to eat, water to drink, and grow crops. And they could transport transportations to other countries or from Lower Egypt to Upper Egypt and the opposite. Here is the picture of the Nile River compared to ancient Egypt and other countries around it. It's really long and goes straight to the Mediterranean Sea. And you see on the screen is the picture of the Nile River up close. There are lots of ships, and you see the deserts. Ancient Egypt is really hot, so they need the Nile River. And the people live near it. These are the houses. And trees too. They use water from the Nile to grow them. So, what about the town? This is ancient Egypt timeline. There are three main parts in ancient Egypt timeline. First is the Old Kingdom, started from 27,000 to 22,000 BC to 20, and the Middle Kingdom started from 2055 to 1650 BC. And lastly was the New Kingdom, which started from 1570 to 1069 BC. I take this information from Wikipedia because there are lots of information about this timeline. That's people just think about that. So let's look up close about these periods. Like I have said, there are three periods. The Old Kingdom is the Age of Pyramids. That's when the Great Pyramid of Giza was built for King Khufu. And the Middle Kingdom was the Age of Pharaohs. That's maybe because they have a 9-year-old ruling them, King Tutankhamun. You may say familiar with it. And is the golden age of wealth, prosperity, and power. They grew strong and they were rich. And this is a really fun part. Ancient Egypt culture and pharaohs. You know pharaohs ruled ancient Egypt. They were king, and the word pharaohs actually means great houses. They ruled everything in ancient Egypt. The first pharaoh to rule ancient Egypt was Number, when he defeated the king of Lower Egypt and became the first king. And some famous kings like King Tutankhamun and King Ramses II. He is really strong. And the last was Queen Cleopatra. And she died after the battle with the Romans. And the civilization ends. And here's where the people in ancient Egypt was divided into different classes. And here is the pyramid describe the classes they were divided to. So in the top is the pharaoh. He ruled ancient Egypt. Then the vizier. They worked in temples and built them to do for the gods. Nobles and brothers was next. They were really important too, like many things to help the pharaoh and build mummies. In the fourth class was soldiers to fight, and scribes to writing, because the alphabet in ancient Egypt is really difficult, not like us. So they need special people to learn the alphabet really carefully and then write it down in a paper called papyrus. Next class was craftsmen. They make wooden carvings or other carvings and sold to live. And a really lower class is farmers. They grow crops. And live near the Nile River. Lastly was slaves. They work for the wealthy. Yes, and they were really poor. So, what about the entertainment? All ancient Egyptians have the free time, the entertainment time. Even pharaohs or poor classes. So, they enjoy some really fun things like play board games, listen to music, or play outside. And kids could play with toys like dolls or wooden carvings. What about the art and writing? Like Adam says, ancient Egypt has a very particular arts and writing by their own. Their writing is called hieroglyphics. Their special alphabet is made out of pictures, like this picture at the top. You see, they're all pictures, and the pictures right has a very special meaning. And they also draw different pictures, like pictures of gods, pictures of pharaohs, pictures of families on a paper called papyrus that I have taught. And here's one of the pictures they draw. Lastly is architecture. They also build big buildings and like temples or the pyramids, like you know. This is the Temple of Karnak, one of the most special one of the most famous temples in ancient Egypt. And let's look up close at the ancient Egyptian alphabet, hieroglyphics. You see, this is how it does its mean with our alphabet today. It's really weird, right? Could you spot how the name will see like? It is interesting. And let's talk about their gods. You don't maybe believe it, but ancient Egyptians had and worshipped more than 2,000 gods. Each kind of thing had its own one, like the sun, the Nile River, the people, mother, and even cats. Let's go through each of them. Here, 5. The most famous one is Ra, Isis, Osiris, Horus, and Thoth. So let's go through them. The first god is Ra, god of the sun. It is believed that Ra is one of the most important gods in their 2,000 gods. And he ruled life and creation on earth. Yes, they believe he made it and he ruled it. Everyone, everything. And do you see his picture? This is what ancient Egypt imagined he looked like. He has head of a bird, right? Next was Isis, goddess of magic, healing, and motherhood. Isis was really gentle, and she believed that she cured people sickness and brought the disease back to life. She also worked with some other gods to make the first mummies in Egyptian myth. The third one was Osiris. He was god of disease and the underworld. He ruled the underworld after he died by his brother's death, and Egyptians liked him because he helped people pass to the next life, where they live happily there. And this is Horus, god of war in the sky. He protects and ruled Egypt. Self-familiar, all pharaohs were considered a living Horus. They think a little bit, but yes, they were called pharaohs were godlike. The last god I want to talk with you is Thoth. He's god of writing and knowledge. Thoth, people believe that he was the creator of hieroglyphics, writing. He was god of scribes too, and also things like art, maths, and everything that must do with learning or knowledge. And let's see about the mummies. Ancient Egyptians believed in the afterdeath, like we have seen in Osiris. He was the god of underworld. So of course they believe in the afterdeath, the afterlife. So their body was preserved carefully so that they could live forever. Let's look at the pyramids. The pyramids is one of the beautiful and famous structures that left for us to discover. And pyramids were actually tombs for some pharaohs like King Khufu. And most of the pyramids were in Giza. And one of it, the biggest, is the Great king was preserved, his mummies was there with the Sphinx. And in the queen's chamber, his wife, yes, she was preserved there. And the grand gallery where it takes you every part of the pyramid. And there's also an entrance, because the pyramid was locked. And so there must be an entrance for builders to get out before they close it. So, how they build the massive thing? It takes from 20,000 to 24,000 workers to build those. And think about it, you have to lift rocks with several tons. Seems impossible. So, how they build those pyramids was just a mystery, unable to solve. But maybe we will in the future. So, what just end this powerful civilization like this? Let's look at it. So, when they were really near the end, ancient Egypt fought with the Romans, ruled by Queen Cleopatra. After they lost in the last battle, the Battle of Actium, their last queen was really sad. So she killed herself because she don't want to be as a people in Octavian, which is ruling the Romans. And let's see the artifacts left from ancient Egyptian. The monuments were left like pyramids of Giza, the Great Sphinx, and writings, art, and big structures like temples. Also preserved artifacts which they made like wooden carvings and also mummified remains. Such a huge part. And let's see some fun facts about the ancient Egypt. Did you know? A lot of the things we use today was actually invented by ancient Egyptians, like makeup, toothpaste, keys, paper, the candle, and more. Wow! And did you know that ancient Egyptians loved board games? They loved board games so much that some people even buried with one or a lot. Like, for example, is King Tutankhamun. He buried with more than 3 board games called Sphinx, which is a very popular board game at that time. And this is the bonus activity for today. We were talking about ancient Egypt, so let's discuss about the mummification process, which takes about 70 days. Was a very long and hard work. So it contained 8 main steps. First, the body was washed with palm oil and the water from the river, the Nile River. So workers that do this job, the house that they make it is really near the Nile, so they could easily get the water. Then the brain was pulled out by using a hook that was go through the nostrils, and then the skull was filled with some materials like sawdust and resin. And next they will cut get out the organs like the liver, the lungs, the entrails, and the stomach. But the heart decorated with God, the picture of God, which we believe to be the child of Horus. He has 4 child. And the 4th part, the body was covered with a special salt called natron. And also it's the organs in the kind of shards. All of them were left to dry in 40 days. It was the longest process. But don't worry, because that 40 days it's left dry. People did not have to work. After the body was dried out, the natural salt using was removed, and the body was packed with straw, dry grass, and linen. After that, they will be applied makeup, fake eyes, and hair to look more like human. Yes, so that they will look like what they look like before they were dead, and afterlife too, so they may look beautiful. Then, this is one of the last steps. The body was wrapped with linen fabric, and amulets were added with the book of the dead. Finally, the mummy was placed in a sarcophagus or coffin and moved to the pyramid, the tombs, or the valley of kings. Thank you for listening with my presentation. Goodbye and see you next time.